This might be the winner for the new most embarrassing PR F-up in ages in esports, which is when Astralis has just announced that the player br0 is joining their team. Yeah, I know who, but okay. When they announced that he's joining, there was on the website, when they did the official news post, KRL, the French streamer, has shown a screenshot, which, look, as far as I know, seems to be true. I would be surprised if someone involved in Astralis wouldn't have disputed the veracity of the screenshot if that was the major issue here. And basically, as you'll see, what it said on the original news post was Kasper Straube, who is the sports director of Astralis since the summer of 2023, and famously came from Heroic, more about him later, had said that br0 had some extremely impressive performances, including a great run in the Paris Major. Now, what's so embarrassing about this, that the sports director of Astralis, so someone presumably involved with bringing this player in and making decisions of that scale, remember that's the role that used to be done by the notorious Kasper Fid, this is someone, in terms of the player br0, who didn't play for Monty, the team he's trying to reference that he's coming from. He didn't play for Monty at the Major, or at the Major at all. He played his first map in Monty on the 27th of July, and the Major ended on the 21st of May 2023. And here's the bonus punchline. This is insane. He was actually on Astralis Talent, their academy team, at the time of the Major, the matches that this idiot is talking about. But the problem is, he himself wasn't in Astralis at the time, so he has no clue about who the br0 guy is, where he's been playing, what he's done, the players just signed, or his own history in Astralis. This is actually bonkers. This implies your new director doesn't know the guy at all that he's bringing in, or the org that he's joined. He just made it up out of his arse, seemingly. So you might ask yourself, who is this Kasper Straube? Where's he come from? Apparently, he was only working with Heroic from like spring of 2022. Before that, he doesn't seem to have some big history in Counter-Strike. He's not some like expert figure. And even worse, when I looked into what his specialty is, it just sounds like this is like the Astralis equivalent of what they did with GamerDoc and Evil Geniuses. They basically hired male Danish GamerDoc to run the Counter-Strike division in Astralis, apparently. And here's the big problem. This wasn't just a tweet. This wasn't just like a brain fart. This wasn't an official news post on the Astralis website, astralis.gg. This post was there. They've now taken it out, unsurprisingly, and changed the text of what it said. So here's the question. How many people did that news post have to go through? How many people checked that and checked the wording? Like, you know that guy, big palaman from old Refresh and Astralis, Steen Lawson or whatever they call him. But like, you know, director of communications. Like, mate, if he's involved with this, he's a fucking clown too. There's no one in Astralis actually know Counter-Strike. Oh, I mean, look at the roster at the moment. Yeah, I guess, right? But this is mental. And by the way, if you actually go and look at his explanation, the amount of times he keeps saying extreme, like he had an extremely successful career, an extremely impressive run. It's a guy that no one knows. He hasn't done any of those things. If that's extremely successful, well then I guess when Astralis isn't extremely successful, they're just good. By your logic, that'll be okay, but by the same scale, that would mean they'd be in like tier 3 or something, you idiot. So all I'll say is this. Right, the Kasper Straube guy, the guy who, by the way, Astralis apparently had to have. Go read Richard Lewis's Substack article about this. This is basically one of the main reasons why the Stabby move happened, why stavn and Jabbi decided to leave Astralis or pushed their way out or whatever. It's because of this guy. Like, this guy apparently had some like connection, and it's even implied he has some sort of bond with stavn over when stavn had that personal tragedy in his life. So when he left to Astralis, like, then suddenly stavn had to leave. He had to be in Astralis. So this is the guy that this is all about. You gambled everything on this guy. This is so whack. And it's just so embarrassing as like sort of a big first outing when this is a massive, you've just dissolved a super team to add in a nobody, and now you don't even know who he is yourself. Come on, bro.
When I make content, it isn't just me, the mic, and a guest or a topic. It's also me with the support of my whole crew. Who's that, you might ask? The Skrilluminati. That's who. They include Frisky, Matt Pugnatio Rajcula, Ahmed Hadjou, Tosh, Tobias Bernasconi, Jensen Goh, Animosity, Torin, and you know it if you've heard it before, but if you haven't, a special thanks goes out to my main man, Jerky's Minion. Well, if you want to know upcoming topics and guests I'm going to have on my channel, maybe you want to ask me a question to answer in an AMA in video fashion. Do you want to hear one of those long discussions and actually be part of it and be able to ask me questions? Want to find out who I'm going to interview next? If any of these perks or more appeal to you, Put your money where your mouth is. Join the Skrilluminati today via the Patreon link in the description box below.